Hello friends, in this video I'll explain the lesson Indigo of English text Flamingo. Yes, before explaining the lesson, I would like to inform you that some of you asked me about the PDF of Alternative English, so I have given it in the community guidelines. You can check it. Moreover, I have prepared the details of all the 5 stories of visitors pointwise for easy understanding. If you need, I can put it in the community guidelines. So let me know in the comments. Now let's start this story. Here I have prepared 31 points over the story. This story is set in 1916. The writer of this story is Louis Fisher. Point 1. Raskumar Shukla, a poor sharecropper from Champaran, meets Gandhi at the Congress session in Lucknow. Point 2. He requests Gandhi to visit Champaran to address the plight of indigo farmers. Shukla is determined and follows Gandhi everywhere until he agrees. Point 3. Gandhi asks Shukla to meet him in Calcutta. Both board a train for Patna and Shukla leads him to the house of Rajendra Prasad. Point 4. Gandhi arrives first in Muzaffarpur to collect complete information about the farmers' conditions in Champaran. Professor J.V. Kripalani, along with the students, welcomes Gandhi at the station. Gandhi stays for 2 days in Professor Molkani's home, a government school teacher. Point 5. The British landlords owned most of the fertile land in Champaran, and Indian farmers worked on the land. They forced farmers to grow indigo on 15% of their land and hand over the crop as rent. Point 6. When the British landlords came to know that Germany had developed synthetic indigo, they charged farmers compensation for freeing them from indigo cultivation. Point 7. The poor illiterate farmers were bound by unfair contracts and could not oppose the British landlords. They were unaware of their rights and feared retaliation. Point 8. In the midst of such situation, Gandhi arrives in Champaran. He meets the secretary of the British Landlords Association, but the secretary did not give him any information. Point 9. Gandhi then meets the British Commissioner of the Tirut division, but the commissioner proceeded to threaten him and advised him to leave Tirut. Point 10. Instead, Gandhi proceeded to Motihari, the capital of Champaran. He continued his investigations. He got a report that a peasant had been maltreated in a nearby village. Point 11. Gandhi decided to go and see. Next morning, he had not proceeded far on the back of an elephant. The local British authorities served him an official notice to leave Champaran immediately. Point 12. Gandhi refuses to obey and decides to stay to help the farmers. As a result, Gandhi is summoned to court the next day. He could not sleep the whole night. Point 13. Thousands of farmers got the news and gathered in Gandhi's support, and it was the beginning of their liberation from fear of the British. Point 14. The government was confused and helpless and wanted to postpone the trial. Gandhi, protested against the delay. He told the court he was there not as a lawbreaker but to serve a humanitarian cause. He was to do justice to thousands of poor farmers. Point 15. The court would not deliver the judgment for several days and Gandhi was allowed to remain at liberty. Thus, the case was dismissed. Point 16. Gandhi starts collecting evidence by meeting the farmers and recording their grievances. Prominent Indian lawyers like Rajendra Prasad, Brij Kishore Babu, Maulana Mazharul Haq, and others assist Gandhi. Point 17. The lawyers were also ready to follow Gandhi into jail for the well being of the peasants. Gandhi won the Battle of Champaran because Lieutenant Governor of the province had ordered the case to be dropped. Point 18. The success in Champaran becomes a blueprint for future struggles. This also marks the start of civil disobedience in India. Point 19. Champaran's success empowers the farmers to understand their rights and fight for them. They no longer accept exploitation silently. Point 20. The British are forced to confront the unity and determination of Indian people. They also start realizing their oppressive methods would not work forever. Point 21. In June, Gandhi had four prolonged interviews with the Lieutenant Governor, Sir Edward Gate. So, he appointed an official commission of inquiry into the Indigo sharecroppers situation where Gandhi was the sole representative of the peasants. Point 22. During Gandhi's stay for more than 7 months in Champaran, he found that the British big planters illegally and dishonestly extorted money from the sharecroppers. Point 23. Gandhi asked only 50%, but the planters were agreed to refund 25% of the compensation money. This small victory boosted the farmers' morale. Point 24. This entire Champaran episode was observed by a British missionary, Reverend J. Jad Hose, at close range. Point 25. Gandhi does not just fight for economic justice but also focuses on improving villagers' lives. His efforts include education, sanitation, and healthcare. Point 26. He sets up schools, promotes cleanliness, and teaches the villagers hygiene. Mahadev Desai and Narahari Parikh, two young men, joined Gandhi as disciples and their wives volunteered for these works. Point 27. Gandhi's wife Kasturba and youngest son Devdas joins him in the reform efforts. Point 28. Primary schools were opened in 6 villages. Mrs. Kasturba Gandhi taught the ashram rules on. Point 29. The Champaran episode was a turning point in Gandhi's life. All the activities Gandhi did in Champaran were not the act of rebellion. It was an attempt to ease the distress of large number of poor peasants. Point 30. Gandhi tried to mold a new free Indian who could stand on his own feet rather than depend on external help. Point 31. Gandhi's lawyer friends wanted Charles Freer Andrews, the English pacifist, to help them. But Gandhi strongly opposed it because he considered it as weakness of Indians. Instead, he taught them a lesson of self reliance.